Greetings, metaphysicians. This is episode 111. It's all a cosmic setup. And by the end of the episode, I think that you will have to agree with me that indeed, it really is all a cosmic setup. Enjoy the episode.
You are listening to Let's Get Metaphysical. This podcast explores the spiritual and metaphysical world through the experiences and opinions of the host and those interviewed. It should not necessarily be seen as direct endorsement or personal advice to our listeners. We encourage you to use your own discernment, judgment, and intuition regarding anything you learn from this show.
Let's get meta.
Welcome to the Let's Get Metaphysical podcast. I'm your host, Renata Maniaci, here to remind you that you are a divine spiritual being having a temporary physical human experience here on lovely planet Earth. It's a wild ride, so enjoy it as much as you possibly can. This is Season 7, Heaven on Earth, and this is episode 111. It's all a cosmic setup. And I don't have much to intro before jumping right into this episode, so let's just go into it, shall we? Are you ready? Let's get meta. Masters and angels, I request your presence, guidance, assistance, and support with this episode. I invoke the light of the divine within me. I am a clear and perfect channel. Light is my guide, highest possible good, and only good is allowed. Please let me know the truth, speak the truth, become the truth, and be the truth. And let this episode reach whoever needs to hear it. Thank you with gratitude and full faith. Bless creation. Episode 111. It's all a cosmic setup, and I guess it really should be with an episode number like that. I'm not really even sure where to begin on this. I just know that this is the topic. And I am in a current state of mind-blownness. Is that a word? My mind has been blown very wide, and that happened a couple days ago, and it still feels like that. Still feel completely high on that experience, all the universe synchronicities that went into creating the situation, this highly personal situation that I'm not even going to go completely into. And it is something that happens to me all the time, in that I have these experiences, and I know you do too, where one might think, oh, what a coincidence, or, oh, isn't that interesting, or wow, that's lucky, or why did that happen to me? Or did I really need to experience that? Or, whoa, I'm so grateful that that happened. All of those experiences, all of those reactions are from having, experiencing, and being completely played by the celestial beings and the angels, because your whole life is a cosmic setup. Every single thing that happens. And I think that because many, if not most of us, are living day-to-day life in a fairly mundane way much of the time, it's not like our minds are getting blown minute after minute, second after second, for most of us, most of the time. We probably have a majority of fairly mundane, day-to-day life stuff, whatever that looks like for you. Family stuff, whatever that looks like for you. Relationship stuff, whatever that looks like for you. Work stuff, travel stuff, health stuff, life stuff, house stuff, all of that stuff we all have, and it looks different for all of us, but for us individually, it's known. It's mostly mundane. It is probably to a great part expected on some level. all of these things. And then sometimes we go out into the world and we have experiences that make us question or pause or have wonder or be humbled because something just happened that makes you realize, or at least wonder, if there's not something else bigger going on, something bigger that you can't see, something so organized, so synchronistic, so complex, so indescribable, so inconceivable, so designed and wondrous and inexplicable that you have to think twice. This experience that I'm alluding to happened a few days ago, and it happened on the heels of me making a new request that I had never made before. Now, if you've been listening to the podcast, you know that I make prayer requests all the time to the ascended masters and the angels. You hear my prayer request at the beginning of every episode so that I am asking and requesting and intending for whatever needs to come through to be able to come through easily and clearly and smoothly. And I'm essentially asking for myself to get out of the way and become a channel for the divine, an instrument of the divine, if you will. And that happens to some extent each time. Sometimes I'm very much still in the way, and it's 10% of the divine, 20% of the divine, and sometimes I'm very much out of the way, and it's 80% of the divine or 90% of the divine. A few days ago, I asked the angels, I made a request that my weekend be exciting. It went a little something like this. Masters and angels, I request that you make this weekend really exciting for me. Thank you with gratitude and full faith. Bless creation. It went a little something like that. And then I forgot about it because I was on my way somewhere. I was actually on my way to one of my very favorite places in the world, my summer camp that I grew up at. And I had a wonderful time there helping to check off some boxes, some chores that they needed to do that weekend. I ended up washing what felt like 1,000 windows, but it probably was only like 30 windows or something like that. And it was wonderful to be in this place that means so much to me, and where I really probably felt my soul for the first time consciously in this incarnation was probably on that property, on that soil. So that in itself was special. That in itself was exciting. I also got to see some old friends and colleagues from that space that weekend. That was already like a grade A weekend. I don't know if exciting would have been the word to describe that, but it was satisfying and heart expanding and just generally lovely to be there. And then as the day was wearing down, Saturday, I was sitting in front of the water, just watching the lake, and the leaves were beautiful and everything was beautiful, the weather, the timing, the sunset. And I had the thought drop in, I don't think I want to sleep here tonight. I think I want to go home and sleep in my own bed. And that was an interesting thought to have because I love this place, as I said, my favorite place in the world. And I would usually do anything to spend more time there because it means so much to me. And it fills me up so much, recharges my battery so much to be in that space. that property. But I had this thought that dropped in. And soon after, a few moments after that, another thought dropped in, which was, oh wow, I wonder if that show that I was told about, I wonder what time that starts, because it's on the way home. And a new friend had invited me to this art show. And I'm making the story longer than it needs to be. The shorter version of this is that I was downloaded with thoughts at the exact moments that I needed to be in order for me to not overthink this thing and to be spontaneous, which in itself is exciting and is something that I have been calling in more of. I typically really know my day, and there aren't that many surprises or moments of spontaneity, and I've been calling that in more because spontaneity brings excitement naturally, I would argue, anyway. So the shorter version of this story is that I decided to go to this art show. We'll call it an art show at the very last minute, so that when I left this place that I was at, this camp, I arrived at the art show pretty much the moment it was starting, which in itself was exciting, just to decide to do that spontaneously. And I then proceeded to have the most incredible evening. I randomly, but not randomly, because nothing's random, that's what this whole episode is about. It's all a cosmic setup. I will say ran into 2 new friends at this place, that one of whom I probably should have never seen again unless it was a cosmic setup, and one of whom I hadn't even met yet. This was the first time that we were meeting. And a series of realizations happened between the 3 of us that continued to blow our minds completely and led to us staying up for the better part of the night until the wee hours of the morning, talking, all 3 of us together, and having some really beautiful realizations and just instances and moments of complete wonder and excitement and just awe at what the universe is able to put together. Because so many things, more than I'm going into, because it's a longer story than this, but so many things had to happen so that the 3 of us would come together and have these realizations that night. So many things that there can be no other conclusion other than to accept that that whole thing was a cosmic setup. There's no other explanation. There's no other conclusion. There are people out there in the world, and I don't honestly think, dear listeners, that you are any of these people, if you're listening to this podcast, that would be skeptical and naysayers and find a way to say, well, all of that was a coincidence. And I know that you're not getting the full story. It's just because it's too long and parts of it are too personal at this moment. I'm still processing this. But there are people out there who would take this experience and peel it apart and say, well, that was a coincidence. That was just luck. That was this. And there's just no way. There's no way. And I think why I'm so floored right now and so wired right now, and I was so wired for like 48 hours after this happened, and I still am, is that even though I already have a very deep sense and understanding of divinity and the universe, and I mean, just really cosmic setups in general, I get it. I have that faith. I have that understanding that everything happens for a reason. I got it. I already had that. This experience blew it so much more wide open that I didn't know it was possible to have more appreciation of the divine, more faith that everything is happening for a reason and is happening for you, to have more understanding, let's say very limited understanding of the cosmic complexities and depth of the universe in a way that I don't even pretend to think that I comprehend when I'm in this vessel, in this physical form, in this body. More everything. And it was the most exciting weekend I can remember having. Now, I've had some really great weekends lately, and many of you know what those have entailed, a lot of spiritual development work. And I would probably use different words to describe those. This weekend was exciting. It was exciting. It was thrilling. It was captivating. It was mind-blowing. It was spontaneous. It was something I never do. I never stay out all night. I just don't. I'm pretty boring, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I need to do this more often. My angels are like, yeah, you need to do this more often. I love when they try to get me to have more fun. Thank you. Thank you, angels, for trying to get me to have more fun. I love that. It was everything that I needed in that moment. And it gave me more than I even realized that I could have more of, which is faith, which is understanding, which is being completely awestruck, completely humbled, completely bowled over. All of those things I felt in that weekend. And I'm super, super grateful for that. Now, how does that apply to you? This experience of any experience that I've had recently has shown me that if this is true for me, this is true for everyone. Because I can't be a singularity floating around on this planet, which is floating around in this universe, in this far off corner of the multiverse, and be the only one that everything is a cosmic setup. That's just not how it works. Your whole life is a cosmic setup. All of it. The people that you ran into today, the work you were given, the groceries that you picked up, the phone call that you got on your way home from work, that car accident you had when you were in high school, that waiting 7 hours at an airport because of bad weather, that person who broke your heart, and then you forgave them and they broke your heart again. Everything you've been through is a cosmic setup so that you can learn and evolve the way that you are trying to learn and evolve, what you set up before you incarnated, when you were with your guides and you laid out the blueprint for this lifetime before you came into the body. All of those checkpoints that you needed to hit, all of those experiences you laid out for yourself to help you wake up, to help you to learn a lesson that you didn't learn the last time, to help you to evolve to a higher level of consciousness than you were able to reach the last time, to keep moving forward on this infinite cosmic escalator, to keep moving up. All of it. And I've talked about this aspect before. There is a direct path, or like quote unquote direct path. There's a more clear path, perhaps. But then if you make a turn off of that clear, direct path, like GPS, it will find another route. Now, the other route might take a while. The other route might have gravel roads and a bridge that says that it's there, but it's not actually there, and you have to find your way around it. It might be going through a dodgy neighborhood, or it might be a shortcut to get you back on the main road ahead of where you would have been if you stayed on the path, the first path. That's what it is, but all of it, even the second, all of it's a cosmic setup. You stay on that main road, you stay on that clear path, the most direct path to your own evolution, which it looks different for every single person. It's different for all of us. You can stay on that your whole life, and it's still a cosmic setup. You can put one toenail off of that path, and everything that happens from then is still a cosmic setup. It's still trying to lead you to your next aha moment. It's still pushing you to get to that next level of realization, that next level of self-awareness, that next level of soul realization, self-realization, prismatic awareness, which is awareness not only of one perspective, but of many perspectives, all at the same time. It's all a cosmic setup, all of it. I'll share another thing about that night that was also part of the whole thing, because all of it was. This event was at a performing arts center that was probably the first or second, one of the very first places I ever saw a musical or a play. And when I was young, the first thing I ever remember wanting to be was an actress or an actor, which I think is kind of funny now because I'm acting like I'm human, as we all are, right? Souls in human bodies, we're all acting human, right, in this lifetime. So that's funny. But this very performing arts center was one of the first places I ever saw a live performance. And part of this event that I was at involved us dancing on the stage of the main big auditorium with the curtains open and nobody in the seats, just dancing on the stage to an empty auditorium, a 2,021 person auditorium. And when those curtains opened, my mind was blown again, because I had that realization that probably one of the first times I even thought about being an actress was inspired by seeing a performance at that very center, watching people on that very stage. And here I was, spontaneously, not so randomly, but cosmically set up to be on that very stage, looking out into the empty auditorium and wondering, wow, I wonder if I'm ever going to be on a stage like this, speaking to an auditorium full of people. And that was mind-blowing in itself. So I'm talking a lot about my personal experience here, but all of this applies to you. All of this applies to you and every situation, every moment of your life, even the mundane ones. And that's when it gets really interesting. It gets really interesting when your mundane moments, like, for example, wanting to be an actor when you were a young child, suddenly mix in 30 years later when you find yourself on the very stage that you were watching as a young kid wanting to be an actor. That is what a cosmic setup is. When the mundane mixes with the extraordinary. And you can request this. I requested this, and I forgot about my request until it all started happening. And then my mind was blown even more when I remembered that I requested it. So don't just listen to my prayer request in the beginning of my episodes and not think about it again. You can do that. You request what you want in your life. Anything. Masters and angels, I request to wake up tomorrow and have tomorrow be the most blissful day I've ever experienced. Thank you with gratitude and full faith. Why not? Why not? You don't have anything to lose for asking for what you want. As long as it doesn't hurt yourself or other people, you don't really have anything to lose. If it's not on your path, it probably won't happen for you. And that's okay. But if it is on your path, or if it's something that's going to help you expand, evolve, blow your mind, believe, have faith, blah, 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 everything, they're probably going to help you to have that experience. So try it. See what is cosmically set up for you. What else is cosmically set up for you that you can even ask for? Because you can ask for anything you want. And I think that's one of the other large things I want people to get out of this show, is that you can ask, because we have help waiting for us. Make sure that you're asking help of the highest level of consciousness, because there's all kinds of levels of consciousness. Lord knows, listen to any of my other episodes. Maybe we'll go into this more in the next episode about how to make sure that you're conferring with and asking high level consciousness and positive light beings for help instead of anything that's not that, because that's important. But you can ask for what you want. And just remember, all of it, it's all a cosmic setup. I'm going to leave it there for today. Thank you so much for listening. Stay positive, stay safe, and stay meta.
The Let's Get Metaphysical podcast is an Up and Awaken production and is produced and hosted by Renata Maniaci. Our intention is to raise the vibration of the planet by sharing, validating, and normalizing spiritual and metaphysical experiences. If you are ready to raise your vibration, you might enjoy our free Let's Get Meta Master Clearing. To receive the Master Clearing or to learn more about the podcast, visit letsgetmeta.com. We like to share metaphysical stories and answer spiritual questions on the podcast. If you have a metaphysical experience you would like to share or have a spiritual question you would like to have answered, please send an email to info@letsgetmeta.com. The Let's Get Meta podcast is inspired by angels and supported by angels. If you would like to be an angel donor to the podcast, visit patreon.com/letsgetmeta. Thank you for listening. Stay meta.
Let's get meta.
Metaphysical.
Let's get meta.
Metaphysical.
Let's get meta.
Metaphysical.
Let's get meta.
Metaphysical.